All right. Yes.
Roy Gom, they're the ones who raised the money for the canines.
Hi, how are you?
What's your name?
Hi, Adele. Hi, Elise. Pleasure to meet you.
This is our chairman, Bob Lucy.
Glad to have you with us today.
This is our vice chairman, Marcia Berkbigler.
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
Adele
you.
and
Thank you very
Adele
much.
and Elise.
Adele and
This
Elise.
is Commissioner Kitty Jung. And down this way,
I love your getup. Who dressed you today? My mom and me. How old are you?
Can we get them chair?
yeah, they're coming.
And are you? Oh, you're not missing school. It's spring break.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to have to call the police. No, I'm just kidding. I have a very
Jesus,
small
John.
class.
Jesus, John.
No, it doesn't.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get started here just shortly here.
Adele and
We're
Elise.
working through a few things.
And I'm
All right. Okay. So let's get things situated one way or
Yep.
another so we can get started here.
Yes, sir.
Just take a second
Sorry
here.
for the delay, Mr. Chairman.
It's okay.
We're going to put one of you next to the chairman
Right here.
and the other next to Commissioner Hunt.
There you go. All right. All right. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to call to order the Board of County Commissioners March 21st meeting for our regular meeting this morning. And at this time, we will have a salute to the flag. If Mr. Box, I see you in the back there. Could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Box. I appreciate that. Madam Clerk, can I get a roll call, please?
Certainly. Bob Lucy, Chair.
Here.
Marcia Burke-Bigler, Vice Chair.
Here.
Kitty Jung.
Present.
Von Hartung.
Here.
Jeannie Herman.
Here.
County Manager John Slaughter.
Present.
Assistant District Attorney Paula Pirelli.
Here.
I'm Nancy Parent, County Clerk. You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You know, and at this time, we have two special guests with us today. Commissioner Hartung, would you like to introduce them,
I was
please?
going to let them introduce themselves, Mr. Chairman. I think that would be more appropriate.
All right.
Start right here. Tell us who you are.
I'm Adele,
And Adele, where are you from?
Reno, Nevada.
Well, what school do you go to?
Oregon.
Roy Gom. Thank you so much, Adele.
All right.
Oh,
I
thanks,
got one
Mr.
right here.
Chairman.
And you?
Hi, I'm Elise Evans, and I go to Oregon, like Adele.
And Elise, what grade are you in?
Fifth.
You're in fifth grade. So we're very honored to have Elise and Adele with us this morning from Roy Gom.
And what grade are you in?
Second.
Second grade.
Wow. So what a great future leaders right here with us, ladies and gentlemen. So we're glad to have them with us this morning. All right. At this time, we will go to public comment, Madam Clerk. All right. So this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we are running the meeting, as you can see, just a little bit different for the first time. This is some new technology to our chambers. And so at this time, we have, as you can see behind us and on the screens, that will have all the agenda items listed. And I will be calling public comment from here on out in all of our future meetings. So at this time, I have signed in Mr. Sam Dene. Good morning, Mr. Dene.
How you doing? Yeah. Sam, DNA, Dene. The DNA of Reno government, talking here in the dark. I don't know why the lights are so low, but that's okay. I'm trying to keep the people awake back there in their darkness. And nice smiley face over there. I'm an Air Force Academy graduate. I am the DNA of Reno government, which means I am the heart, the soul, the body, and the mind of Reno government. Nice smiley face over there too. She's nodding her head. I've been to more county commission meetings and city council meetings and public attendances, and the young ladies are looking wide-eyed at this young man saying, "Who is this man?" Well, I am probably the greatest person in the history of Reno, Nevada that you have never heard of. You've heard of George Washington, you've heard of Patrick Henry. Well, I'm all those people added together, multiplied by 10, and my greatness is only superseded by my humbleness. What are the chances, ladies and gentlemen? At any rate, nice smiley face over there. I am on a crusade, and you will notice that I'm basically the only person who comes to the public comment podiums. So ergo, I represent, Sam, that's me, I represent 300,000 people in this community, speaking for all of them. Sometimes right, sometimes wrong. Just recently, Mr. Slaughter over there, I'm still looking for a nickname for him. I ought to appoint Slaughter for the new county manager. Well, I did that 2 years ago, and now he's the county manager. Last week, I appointed the Reno City Council city manager, and her name is Sabra, the Abracadabra Woman Nubai. That's it. And she's getting a nice salary, but you know why I wanted her appointed? Because the media mouses throughout this community, the media mouses who are scared in their pants and pantyhose of me, they do not like her. So I ordered city council to appoint her, to hire her, because the media mouses do not like her. Okay, here we got a non sequitur. The media mouses are complaining because the Reno basketball coach is going to go to is thinking of going to California, and they're saying, "Oh, that's so disloyal, leaving Reno to go to California." Let me tell you about disloyalty. Disloyalty is the definition of the Reno Gazette Media Mouse newspaper. They've got this man right here who has done more for the community than the next 25 people added together, and they're scared to death of me. Disloyalty is the name of the Reno Gazette that should be dismantled, and my guess is that the coach is going to go to Cal.
Mr. Dene. At this time, we'll call Miss Lori Olson.
That's hard to follow.
I apologize.
Good morning. My name is Lori Olson, and I'm the general manager for the Collin Ranch Homeowners Association. Over the past 2 years, at the behest of the Nevada Division of Wildlife, I've been working with Sarah Tone and Kevin Schiller regarding the waste management franchise agreement related to animal-resistant containers. In 2014 and 2015 in particular, Collin Ranch had a major bear problem which was related directly to trash. Collin Ranch implemented new rules to help address the problem. However, we cannot fix it permanently without the assistance of Washoe County and Waste Management. Late last year, I was advised the distribution of animal-resistant containers was finally worked into the amended agreement. I was invited, along with a few other HOA reps, to attend a meeting with Washoe County to assist with the program, quantities, etc. That meeting was canceled twice. 3 follow-up emails to Sarah and Kevin asking when it will be rescheduled have gone unanswered. The last email was sent on March 17th. I respectfully request to be advised the status, timing, and distribution of animal-resistant containers in Washoe County, as well as the cost of the services. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Olson. Mr. Rod Dimmitt. And after Mr. Dimmitt, we'll have Mrs. Lenita Powers.
Good morning, Commissioners, distinguished guests. My name is Rod Dimmitt, and I'm a volunteer at the May Arboretum. And what I wanted to address this morning is the upcoming fiscal budget for the May Arboretum. My purpose here in coming here is that I want to ask that the proposed budget for the Arboretum be approved in its entirety. I don't know if y'all are aware, but the May Arboretum is the only ArbNet certified arboretum in the state of Nevada. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to walk through the gardens, but our gardens there offer a museum of plants, and they offer health, safety, tranquility, peace, and education. Last year, the Arboretum hosted almost 1,000 students through their educational program where the students learned about ancient trees, wetlands, and native plants. I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask to the chamber. One of my questions is, how many folks in the chamber have not had a raise since 2008? Could I just see a show of hands?
Over here.
All right. My second question is, how many folks in the chamber could live on 40% of what you were making in 2008? Could I see a show of hands?
Sure, sir, if you can just continue to address the commission. I'm
okay.
sorry. Thank you.
Anyway, I'm asking that the county commissioners step up and support the gardens financially. I always like to leave with on how we can make things better. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Great Basin Adventure Area. It's part of the May Museum, May Arboretum Complex, but that has not been supported by the county or the May Foundation since 2008. The suggestion that I would make for that area is if we could tear that out and build a 3,000-seat amphitheater there and use that for concerts, I would think that the income from that venue could probably fund the entire park's budget going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeMint. Ms. Lenita Powers.
Good morning. First, I'd like to acknowledge that I do not envy you the task you have of dividing up the funds you have for all the various parks in this area, many that have suffered damage in this wet winter. But I'm here to tell you why the May Arboretum is really worth your investment. It is a registered arboretum, it is a museum of trees, but that sounds so stodgy. What it is it's very unique. It is a place where you can go from the high Sierra down to the Great Basin Desert in just a short walk because it has all the trees and the flora that exists there. And it's a teaching tool for not just the thousands of students who come from Washoe County schools, but also from, it serves Douglas County, Carson City, and also Susanville students come in. And these aren't just field tours. This is a actual recognized STEM program for the science, technology, engineering, and math courses. And it's also a unique to the area in that it's something that will attract entrepreneurs to this area who want to have a place where they can have their employees find a tranquil, beautiful setting. You can go from the bottom of the Arboretum up to the Moya Lear gazebo, and you can look out and see the Paw-Raw Range to the south and the Sierra to the west. It's just it's a little slice of heaven that very, very few communities have in this nation, not just this state. And if you haven't seen it, please give a call. My number is on the list. And we'll give you a tour of this fabulous place. And the other thing, we hold many community events. Lavender Day, we have the native plants sale, which brings, people line up at 7 in the morning, and it's just very special. We have arts in the park, we have nature, we have artists, poets, musicians, and they also vendors, food vendors, all kinds of events, the gingerbread house for the children. And so I really urge you, when you look at funding for this, this special slice of heaven you've got, people get married in there, they have photos taken, we always have photographers, because it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous background. So I hope you will invest in this gem, because it truly is worth your while. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. Ms. Lynn Short.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Short. I'm president of the May Arboretum Society. The testimony I'm about to read was actually emailed to each of you and also mailed to you at the end of last week. Dear County Commissioners, there was a time when the Washoe County leadership demonstrated its support for the parks and public spaces, especially the May Arboretum and Botanical Garden. While it was understandable that the budget to support the maintenance of the Arboretum was reduced during the recession in 2007, 2008, it is not acceptable that the Arboretum is expected to continue to maintain itself with a budget that is just 40% of what it was a decade ago. Public arboretums and gardens are essential for health and safety. Access to parks and open spaces can increase individual health and well-being, and it builds community. In order for the Arboretum to achieve its full potential, the county commissioners must renew their commitment to fund the Arboretum at above its baseline budget request and steadily increase its financial support over the next 3 to 5 years to bring to it at least its pre-recession fiscal year 2007 levels. For more than 30 years, the May Arboretum Society and the May Foundation has partnered with Washoe County to assist in the financial support of the Arboretum. For the past decade, Washoe County has fallen short on its own commitment to the Arboretum. And now more than ever, it's more apparent to our 1,000 plus members and friends of the society. Washoe County owns the May Arboretum and Botanical Garden, yet you have not taken responsibility for its proper maintenance and growth since 2007. An excellent framework for the development of efficient and engaging gardens, experiences that promote contact with nature, engagement with art, and education for children, in addition to expanded walkways to promote physical activity across the lifespan, was included as part of the Arboretum's master plan, created and approved in 2007 by Washoe County leadership, yet little has been done to realize its potential. Instead, the Arboretum's leadership is working with a budget that lasts only 3 months into the fiscal year, and it must rely on a cadre of volunteers to physically maintain the gardens, groves, and pathways. With more than 1,700 trees, 185 diverse species, and a replacement value of more than $4 million, we would expect that you would demonstrate leadership once again by supporting the sustainability and growth of this financial and environmental investment by assuring the Washoe County provides appropriate and adequate annual funding for the May Arboretum and Botanical Garden. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Short. Next, we'll have Mr. Danny Cleus. Good morning, Mr.
My
Cleus.
name is Danny Cleus. I live at 11630 Tupelo Street. I'm wondering, when was the last time you read what is written on your walls? Because right now, my neighborhood, my little community, it's not safe, it's not secure, and it's not healthy. Right now, we were told at the last meeting that there would be bladders put in the culverts to stop the water to come back through. All we got was plywood and sandbags. Excuse me. Then we were told the bladders are on order from different people. This isn't helping our community. It's not making it safe. We don't know when that plywood or sandbags are going to disperse and come back into our community. There's a big problem, guys. It's raining outside right now. There's supposed to be more rain coming. What are we supposed to do with this water? Nobody can come up with an answer. I do not want my house flooded for a third time. I still have 6 inches of water in my foundation. I still have mold. I still have people, my neighbors, my little community, are still can't get into their houses because the water came back in their yard again. That makes number 3 for the last 2.5 months that people cannot go in their yards. When the water level did go down in my neighborhood, it smells horrendous. My house is red tagged. I'm not even supposed to be living there. I have nowhere to go. I can't go in an apartment because I have animals. What am I supposed to do? I wish somebody would come up with a plan for my community. Like I said, it's not safe, it's not secure, and it's not healthy. With the mold underneath my house, my girlfriend comes in and says it's musty every day. I have nothing to tell her. I don't know what to do about it. Nobody can come up with an answer for it. Mr. Sam Hicks at the last meeting said that we're going to put bladders in there. Obviously, that didn't happen. They started pumping from one area, flooded another area. I don't know what to do anymore. We've asked you for help ever since January. We finally get it in March. What do we do in our community now? Thank you.
Miss Elise Weatherly.
Good morning, Elise Weatherly. First of all, I want to say thank you for the gender identification. I appreciate it because I don't like being called Mr., so thank you for that. And I know that the board here, you don't initiate decisions, but I know that somebody here can, the manager, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over you guys. What I think I represent, who I think I represent are people that actually love the truth, because there is such a thing as absolute truth, and I abide in it. So what I wanted to do was that the Washoe County court systems not only allow, but encourage jurors to use common sense, sincere judgment, and sound discretion when making legal decisions. Now, if you can see that, I'm going to give that to you guys. I pulled it off thanks to Travis Lucia. Is there any way we can get that overhead? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'll give that to you guys. It actually says in legal documentation that the jury should use discretion, sound judgment. Okay, the Washoe County Sheriff's officers can lie. I found that out from a very decent man at Washoe County Sheriff's Office yesterday, that the officers are allowed to lie to citizens, and they don't have to really justify themselves. So the reason that this came about was there was a person that got pulled over for supposedly breaking a law, and that the officer did not offer any proof of this, just a ticket. Well, the person that was pulled over said, "Can you not issue a waiver in cases?" Absolutely not, this person said, this officer said, "We are mandated by the top to issue tickets in this regard." And I said, "Well, who authorized that? I'd like to find out where the top was, where it came down from here." Well, guess what I found out? He was not telling me the truth. And the other case is Washoe County Animal Services. When I was suffering from my brain tumor, which God miraculously healed, because He is the one that keeps me safe. He's the one that keeps me safe, you guys. I had called them up to say, "I know my dogs are due with their license, but I don't have the wherewithal to do this right now." They go, "Don't worry, you're okay." Well, then they sent me an email to say that it was due. But at that time, I did not realize that my email system had multiple tabs. I was used to working on my work email system, which didn't have multiple tabs. So I could have told them that the dogs had died, but I chose not to. I chose to tell them the truth. So when we are asked questions, we can answer with vagueness. We can ask a question that places the blame on you, such as, what difference does it make, as they did in Congress with their teachings? Answer with a twisted truth. We can answer straightforward with the truth. We can lie, or we can refuse to respond at all. And I will say that that is one thing that when Jesus was put on trial, He just didn't respond. And I think that the Fifth Amendment is going to apply in this ticket case or something. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weatherly. And could you please provide documents of those to the clerk, please? All right, our final speaker is Ms. Kathy Brandhorst.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I'm also the United States President. I just wanted to let you know that I still live at the Donner Motel, It seems like it's very, very hard for me to move out for some reason. Somebody is stopping me from moving. I don't know why this is going on, but I find it is discrimination against one person. You have already put the snakes inside my home because you need me dead for some reason. Also, I found out with the police department that I did die because I have snake bites all over. And I just wanted to tell you, you know, is this the way to do a place for me to move out? I know you're homeless. I know you need a place to live for nothing. You think that you could, terrorize somebody in their own homes and make sure that you get the place for nothing. Yes, you can't even afford to pay your gas. You can't even afford to pay your electric. You can't even afford to pay your rent. You can't even afford to pay your telephone service. I have all this in my home. Is that the reason why you have to break in every day and every night? This needs to be stopped, but you're all arrested. You've gone to jail, but what? 12 hours later, you're out of jail. 12 hours later, you might even be out of prison. You're still walking the streets. You're still doing the same thing. Murder. Like that little boy, he said, I felt so unsafe in my room, I decided to crawl underneath your bed. But somebody took a mattress and put it inside my home, and it was full of bed bugs. That little boy was covered with bed bugs, and he died. He suffered because those bed bugs were going in and out of his mouth. You know, this is not what you call safe, is it? No, it is not. What kind of people are you? Are you really human like the rest of us? No, you're not. You need their body parts. Isn't that the truth? That's why you're doing this. You need a human, okay, you need those too. But I just wanted to let you know you're not human at all.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, seeing that we have no more public comment signed in, we will move on to agenda item 4. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Item 4 is Commissioner, County Manager's announcements, reports, updates, requests for information, or topics for future agendas. And one item related to today's agenda I wanted to make an announcement on, and that is items 10 and 11 will be removed today. Those are the legislative updates. There was upwards of 300 bills introduced yesterday at the legislature. So staff's going through all of those, and we'll bring any pertinent information back to our next meeting.
Great, thank you. Any other further comments from you, Mr. Manager? No. Commissioners? Do you have it? Oh. Well, we do have that your little button. All right. So, Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is more of a reminder, this particular item. Some time ago, Commissioner Jung appropriately asked for a dashboard for items that we would like to see come on future agendas, and I've not seen that dashboard in some time, and I know I've made requests, and I'll list them, just some brief requests. Waste management, it would be nice to know where that is. Our alarm program, our 911 program, I'd like to know where that is. I asked about traffic on Nicole, and were there things that we could do? I'd like to know where that is. Stop sign at Sunset Springs and Omni, I'd like to know where that is. And it would just be nice to have that dashboard. If there's a request for an item that does need 2 hours staff time, at least it'll show on the dashboard that it has to come pending board approval. It would just be nice to have kind of a running track of things that we've asked for. Then I'd also like to ask the manager about how we would prepare for reimbursing TMFPD for the Lemon Valley incidents and all the time, because that's something obviously we have to budget for. And I'd like to just have a public conversation on what that's going to look like. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartung. Commissioner Burke-Bigler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to address the issue of waste management again, and I know that Mr. Schiller is bringing it forward. I'm not sure if it's at the next meeting or the meeting after that, but it's coming quickly. And included in the new agreement is the language related to animal-proof dispensers, if you will. But as what may not be aware is we have not signed that agreement yet because there are multiple problems, and Mr. Schiller has a list, probably 16 pages long, of issues, and so we are in fact still working on that. Hopefully we will get it resolved soon. But we are definitely on top of it, and I just wanted to point that out to remind the commissioners that that is an issue that is a problem in all of our districts, and so we are working on it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Burke-Bigler. Commissioner Jung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can somebody let us know who or what is going on that the May Arboretum is in concern that we're not going to fund them, and that we've changed some sort of method of funding? And I know that I asked for a budget augmentation of 7% increase to the operations of parks, but that's not just the Arboretum, that's across the county if the budget would allow that. So if you could let us know where this is coming from, that would be just great. The dashboard that Commissioner Hartung brought up, could we also have an estimated time of arrival, like what date will it come on? That way when we talk to our constituents, we can say, actually, this will be the date, maybe you should be here for that, to help me make the case for whatever the case is that I'm making for you. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Jung. And I just one little side note in regards to kind of dovetail off of what you just said in regards to the May Arboretum and the parks. Staff did ask, or the county manager did ask staff to prepare a detailed report on parks funding and what that's going to look like over the years, including the Arboretum. And so that was that was requested in last week's meeting. So hopefully we'll have that during budget time and have a clearer picture of what that funding will look like going forward. And then one other thing I want to point out, and this is, one thing that Commissioner Hartung brought up is the parity in the compensation from the county to Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. Although we are one, potentially we are two separate departments. But I'd like to point out the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District is an all hazards department. They handle all issues for us, whether it's hazmat, whether it's fire, whether it's rain. They are our incident responders, so to speak. So this incident that is currently what we were dealing with in Lemon Valley is no different than an incident in Little Valley with the Little Valley Fire. It's a hazard. It's for us to maintain the safety of our residents. So I want to keep that in mind when we're having that discussion going forward. So about compensation between departments. There are certain things that just typically fall under Truckee Meadows Fire Protection. Also, to reiterate, we need to have another discussion about garbage. And I'd like to see staff not only just have the discussion, but I'd like to see waste management. I'd like to see a decision maker in our room having the discussion with us, not a PIO, not some department manager. I need somebody from Phoenix, somebody who can make decisions, somebody who can solve these problems, because we've asked and asked and asked, and it seems like waste management has failed to respond to us. And also, the situation continues to get worse with all of these recent events. So one thing, and then last but not least, like I said, I can't thank enough, but I know there are still upset citizens with the response in Lemon Valley and feel that hasn't been adequate. However, I want to thank the state and Caleb Cage and the governor and also, all of Rocky Meadows Fire Protection District and Sam Hicks and Chief Moore and all of the county staff and Manager Slaughter and Dave Solera that participated in trying to find an immediate solution to, protect what we have currently. So thank you again for your guys' response there. All right, I have more people signed up. Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just clarification on the dashboard, I'd like to see it as a regular agenda item once a month. Maybe it's at the beginning of the month, maybe it's at the end of the month. That's at the pleasure of the board, but just once a month, that dashboard appears in our packet so that we know exactly where things are going and we can track it. And it would really be nice to have an online board as well that we could look at and excuse me, sort of see where things are with staff. But for now, I'd just be happy to have that written document in our agenda once a month would be more than adequate. Thank you, sir.
Great, Commissioner Hartung. Commissioner Burke-Bigler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And one other issue on waste management. When they come, Mr. Schiller, if you could put this on the list of things for them to address when they come, if they ever come to talk to us. I want to know why they keep using the excuse in my Incline Village community that they can't go in and they take their trucks in on a snowy road when we can get fire trucks in, we can get ambulances in, we get everything else in, but a trash truck can't get in there. And additionally, the other issue I simply forgot about is that apparently we have historically had an agreement with Waste Management in the Verdi area that they would pick up the California side of Verdi also. And now suddenly they've decided that they cannot drive down the road. It is a public road. It is not a private road. So if they're telling all the people who live in Verdi on the California side of the line that they have to drag their trash cans out to the end of the road because they can't drive down this public road anymore. That kind of stuff is just, I'm so tired of hearing from people who are not getting the attention that they should be getting from the trash company when they're paying for it. And so if they would put those two on your list for them to please address to us why they're doing these types of things. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Burke-Bigler. Commissioner Herman.
On that same subject, I have a lot of ideas on the waste management, so I'll bring those up when we come to that meeting. I hope I'm not out of line right now, but I heard this morning that in Lemon Valley, the diver has been located and should be here shortly, and will be able to put that bladder in that pipe. So that culvert is like 36 inches. Probably was hard to locate a bladder big enough for that one. So
Great.
I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Thank you, Commissioner Herman. Commissioner Burke-Bigler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The one other thing I forgot I was also going to mention is I think it's important for the people who, clearly the situation in Lemon Valley is a disaster. We all recognize that. But I think it's important for the people to remember the water keeps coming back. That's because this is a dry lake bed. And this is the water table that's coming up. This is not water coming down from the hills, water coming necessarily out of the sky. This is water coming up from the water table. And it is going to continue to come back. And I asked that question last week of Sam when he was here. What happens if the water comes back up after we pumped it out? And he said, it could happen. We don't know the answer to that, but it's one of those things that we're dealing with because this is a dry lake bed. So I think it's really important that we are trying very hard to work with all of you. We hope that we are getting, that you understand you're getting our attention, and we will continue to work with you. And I know it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating for us. We're not living in it, but it's still frustrating for us because we know that you're having a problem. So thank you for your patience and your continued willingness to work with us.
Thank you, Commissioner Burke-Bigler. All right. Seeing no other announcements from the commissioners or any further discussion, Mr. Manager, we're on to item number 5, please.
Mr. Chair, item 5 is introduction of new Washoe County employees. So we will have the commissioners come down below. Our new employees will come up, introduce themselves, and we will welcome them to Washoe County.
All right.
You're the only new employee? We just get one new employee today? Come on, guys. You have to go to the microphone and introduce yourself.
Give your name and your division and your title.
Thank you for welcoming me today. I'm Angela Owings. I'm with Social Services, and I specifically work with Senior Nutrition Services.
We're on to agenda item 6.
Mr. Chair, this agenda item is where we recognize our Washoe County employees who have completed Excellence in Public Service certificates. Washoe County encourages lifelong learning and the professional development of all of our employees, administered by the Human Resources Department. Excellence in Public Service is a series of certificate programs designed to support employee development and performance. The completion of these courses over 2 years demonstrates the employee's commitment to continuous personal and professional improvement and to Washoe County's journey of excellence. And today we're pleased to recognize that commitment. Our first recipient is Samantha Wolcott, Deputy Clerk 3 for Reno Justice Court, and Samantha has completed the Essentials of Personal Effectiveness certificate. And next is Karen Nelson. Karen is a legal secretary for the Public Defender's Office, and she has completed the Essentials of Personal Effectiveness certificate program. So congratulations, Karen. Jerry Renshaw is Administrative Secretary for the Comptroller's Office. Saw Jerry here. She has completed the Essentials of Support Staff Certificate program. So congratulations to Jerry. We've got a fan club. And Emily Goring. Emily is a Library Assistant 2 for the library and has completed the Promote Yourself Mini Certificate program. Congratulations to Emily. And also from the library, Pamela Larson, Library Assistant 2, has completed the Promote Yourself Mini Certificate program. And Nancy Mason. Nancy is an Eligibility Certification Specialist 2 for Social Services, and Nancy has completed the Promote Yourself Mini Certificate program. Congratulations, Nancy. And then last but not least, Renee Shebler, Planning Technician for the Community Services Department, has completed the Promote Yourself Mini Certificate program. Congratulations to Renee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. All right. Commissioner Burkbigler, Vice Chairman. Vice Chair, I should say. Sorry, I apologize. Would you like to do donations? Oh, actually, Commissioner Jung, I apologize.
It doesn't matter either way, but I'm happy to bring our attention to item 7A as an apple. We are accepting one-time donations of $1,060 from private citizens to the Sheriff's Office to be used for operating costs, food purchases, and/or equipment if approved by the Comptroller's Office. And I also believe that the, we're also going to recognize some fundraising efforts as well from Rory Gom Elementary School, our honorary commissioners up here, but that's later in the agenda. That would be Adele and Elise.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Manager. Oh, actually, we need a motion to accept the donations.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Jung, second by Commissioner Burke-Bigler. So,
We're supposed to use our,
yes, you're supposed to do your.
use
your
our.
Oh, wait a minute, sorry,
So,
see,
this is a
I'm,
new part of the game, I know, it's
Okay,
confusing.
Okay, so you.
So this is all,
you
please
second.
bear with us.
I second it.
All right. So this time, we have a motion on the floor. I'm going to call for the vote. Now, everybody, I'm sorry, do we have public comment signed in? Thank you very much. We do, I'm sorry, I do see public comments. Miss Kathy Brandhorst. My apologies, clerk, thank you.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I'm also the United States President. I just wanted to let you know, Crossroads. Yes, Crossroads is for the homeless. And private citizens to the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. Well, we have a sheriff that works there, but he's never been hired at all. You don't have to threaten me. I just wanted to let you know that the operating costs for food purchases or equipment, and if approved, the Comptroller's Office. Well, I just wanted to tell you, these people cannot afford to pay for food. They cannot afford to pay for any kind of furniture to put into that place at Crossroads. These people are so poor, they don't even pay their rent. I don't know why this place is still open, and I don't know why you would be accepting $1,060 for donations when it's lawsuits. The lawsuits are growing way over $1 million, even $1 billion, and $1 trillion, and $1 zillion in lawsuits at the Crossroads. Why do we need to have them in business at all? I thought this business was closed down, and I need to know why you're keeping it open since there's been so many dead bodies over there. It's just unbelievable to hear. And I just wanted to tell you also, I've been working with Deputy Player. He's always missing because of that sheriff that's never been hired. And also, I just wanted to mention, Gray is another person that I work with. I have not seen him either since this sheriff is at the Crossroads. He has never been hired, so how many more bodies are we going to find on that property? I thought this place was closed down, and it's still open. I don't know why. We're going to see a lot more U.S. military bodies in that facility, and they do pay their rent, but they are not accepting them. They'd rather shoot them down and throw them underneath the bed where the bugs are.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, at this time. Yes, Mrs. Clerk.
If we want to use the new system, we need the first and the seconder to push their buttons again.
Okay.
So have
But-
to refresh.
Those,
It's loading.
They said they've already been depressed.
It's loading.
Yeah, we hit refresh and it's
We
loading.
refreshed it if she wanted us to do it again. Maybe we broke it, I don't know.
No, mine's refreshed.
Network error.
Mine's loading.
Mine just says loading. Oh, network error.
Okay, try now. I reset it.
Okay.
The wonders of technology. It speeds things up so.
Eventually.
No. No.
No?
No.
Can we get a refund? Do we get this from Costco?
Yeah.
Take it back?
I apologize. Thank you for bearing with us for just a short moment here.
Seems so simple. Do you have yours? Is yours up, Bob?
Madam Clerk, do you see a motion from my iPad?
Yes.
You do see a motion from me? You now see a second?
Yes.
Okay.
So now I stop motion?
Paul, you can make the motion inside of here.
You had to go.
I had to go into the item and actually make the motion for whatever reason. Okay, we'll call for the vote at this time.
So, hold on, I see nothing on.
You're
on
gonna
the
get
Oh,
it.
here we go.
Got it?
So everybody should have it on their thing.
Okay.
Now, please, at the same time, while voting on your tablet, please remember that you have to vote verbally as well. So I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Push it.
All right. Madam Clerk? All right, so at this time, we have the motion passes unanimously. All commissioners have voted. All commissioners, can you please take a look at the screens and make sure that you affirm that your votes were collected correctly? All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Sometimes technology is a little clunky. We're working through it. But we are on to proclamations at this time. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, our next item is item 8, which are our proclamations. There are items 8A through 8D on your agenda. And the first is item 8A, proclaiming April as Fair Housing Month. And Commissioner Jung, I believe, is bringing that proclamation to the podium. And we have with us staff, Gabrielle Infeld, and we also have Kate Kinster here to accept this proclamation.
And Mr. Manager, while she's approaching the podium, can we do 8A and then also 8D and then have 8B follow that one? So that would be fine, while we have Commissioner Jung at the podium. Commissioner Jung, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas April 2017 marks the 49th anniversary of the Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, the Federal Fair Housing Act, which provides equal opportunity for all Americans in the sale, rental, and financing of housing and prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, gender, or national origin. And whereas the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988 added familial status and handicap to those classes protected by Title VIII, it added strong new rights, remedies, monetary penalties, and judicial and administrative enforcement procedures. And whereas Nevada state law also prohibits discrimination on the basis of ancestry, sexual orientation, and gender identity or expression. And whereas it is the solemn and sworn duty of government at all levels to protect and defend the rights of all citizens and oppose housing discrimination whenever and wherever it occurs. And whereas illegal barriers to equal opportunity in housing, no matter how subtle, that diminish the rights of some of our citizens, diminish the rights of all. And whereas Silver State Housing Council actively works to ensure equal housing opportunities for all people in Nevada to freely choose where they want and can afford to live. And now, therefore, the Washoe County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim April 2017 is Fair Housing Month and recognizes the Silver State Fair Housing Council for their good work in pursuing fair housing in our community, and signed by our fair chairman, Mr. Robert Lucy. Would you like to speak? Please do.
Commissioner Jung, thank you. Mr. Chair, members of the Board of Commissioners, thank you so much for your ongoing support of fair housing. My name is Kate Zook. I'm the Executive Director of Silver State Fair Housing Council. I've been working with you all for ever, as Commissioner Jung says. I'm so glad Gabrielle is up here with me today, because Gabrielle is the one who oversees our grant, makes sure we stay on the straight and narrow, and accomplish all that we've promised to do. And she also has the very intense job of judging our fair housing poster contest every year. And we're so proud of that and your support for that. We do a calendar every year that proclaims not only April, but every month is Fair Housing Month. And you all support that, and we appreciate that so much. And honorary commissioners, next year, we expect to see your entries in the poster contest from Roy Gong. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. We'll do pictures at the end, so if you could, everybody, if they could kind of hang around, well, Commissioner Jung, we're going to have you do the next proclamation as well.
We're going to do 8D
We're out
next.
of order. We're going to do 8D.
Oh, we're going to go out of order?
Yes.
Oh, you are so sneaky.
8D is proclamation proclaiming March 31st, 2017 as Cesar Chavez Day. And I know Commissioner Jung is happy to present this, and we have with us Ramon Chavez.
The nephew of the late, great Cesar Chavez, and Mr. Andrew Barbano, the Mr. Everything Everywhere when it comes to the ACLU, the NAACP, and overall watchdog over government. So we appreciate both of you for being here. And Mr. Barbano, thank you for always making sure this happens, as well as the annual dinner to celebrate Cesar Chavez Day. We appreciate both of you. Whereas Cesar Estrada Chavez was born March 31st, 1927, on a small farm near Yuma, Arizona, that his grandfather homesteaded in the 1880s. And whereas in 1962, Cesar Chavez moved his wife and 8 children to Delano, California, where he founded the National Farm Workers Association, NFWA, later to become the United Farm Workers. And whereas, from the beginning, Cesar Chavez adhered to the principles of nonviolence practiced by M.K. Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to support the end of suffering for farm workers and their families. And whereas Cesar Chavez conducted multiple 25 to 36-day fasts to reaffirm the United Farm Workers' commitment to nonviolence as a necessary and effective practice to maintain self-respect while supporting their cause. And whereas, on August 8, 1994, Cesar Estrada Chavez became the second Mexican-American to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. The award was presented posthumously by President Bill Clinton. I miss him, but we'll keep going. Now, therefore, the Washoe County Board of Commissioners proclaims March 31st, 2017 as Cesar Chavez Day, again signed by our fair chairman, Mr. Bob Lucy. Ramon Chavez, would you like to speak on your uncle's behalf? And then Mr. Barbano, I'm sure you have something to say as well.
Ramon Chavez, nephew, Cesar Chavez, and resident of Reno. I just want to thank the chair, all the commissioners for this honor. I really do appreciate it on behalf of the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barbano.
Good morning. My name's Andrew Barbano. I'm feeling old. I'm a 46-year resident of Reno, and I thank you all for this honor this morning. We will celebrate the life of his uncle, Cesar Chavez, this year on March the 29th, Wednesday, at Circus Circus. The official Cesar Chavez Day in Nevada is March 31st, his birthday, but the good people at Circus Circus bumped us back a couple of days because they booked a tattoo convention. And I don't blame them for bumping us back because the tattoo convention spends more money than we do, and very frankly, they put on a better show. I mean, we've got Ballet Folklorico de la Sierra, we've got public officials, we've got politicians, we've got students at the event, we have awards to pass out. We put on a pretty good show. But unlike the tattoo convention, I don't have semi-clad painted people walking around. And if you've never been to a tattoo convention, they make Star Trek look tame. So March 29th at Circus Circus, seriously, Cesar Chavez has a history here in Reno, Nevada. The matriarch of the Reno Sparks NAACP, my colleague and dear friend Dolores Feemster, was asked to meet with your uncle Cesar Chavez before he ever became a superstar. In the early 60s, he came here to Nevada to work on farm worker issues. He met with Dolores Feemster at Plum, South Virginia at the Continental Lodge. In 1986, the first Cesar Chavez Day here in Reno was declared by Reno Mayor Pete Sferrazzo when Cesar Chavez came here to speak to workers. So all are welcome. You can go to CesarChavezNevada.com for more information, and I look forward to seeing everyone fully clad and fully dressed at Circus Circus Wednesday night, March the 29th. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So stick around, we're going to do photos.
Thank you. Mr. Barbano. Mr. Barbano, Commissioner Jung, actually, Commissioner Harting has.
Gentlemen, before you leave the podium, I would like to introduce one of our commissioners for the day, and Adele just has a couple of things to say because I think it's important. Adele.
So I learned about Cesar Chavez in my class because we were learning about fighting for a cause, and I learned a lot about him. So we had to write this thing, and I wrote about him.
Awesome. Right there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Please stick around. Thank you. All right. Commissioner Burkbickler. Commissioner, Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, our
8B.
next proclamation is 8B, and I believe Commissioner Burkbickler will be presenting this proclamation. This is proclaiming April 9th through the 15th as National Library Week. We have in our audience, we have Jeff Scott, Washington County Library System Director. We also have Emily Reed, who is with the Second Judicial District Court, Self-Help Center and Law Library, to receive the proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Manager and Mr. Chair. And we're so excited about this. Libraries are so important to this community, all aspects of libraries. One of the greatest parts about being on the County Commission is being able to work with parks and libraries and all the things that are so important to our community. So let me read this proclamation. Whereas first sponsored in 1958, the National Library Week is a national observance sponsored by the American Library Association and libraries across the country each April. And it is time to celebrate, and it is a time to celebrate the contributions of our nation's libraries and librarians and to promote library use and support. And whereas all types of libraries, schools, public, academic, and special participate, the libraries are not just about what they have for people, but what they do for and with people. Libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions, and librarians fuel efforts to better their communities, campuses, schools. And whereas libraries and librarians are looking beyond their traditional roles and providing more opportunities for community engagement and delivering new services that connect closely with patrons, students, and community needs. And whereas librarians continue to fulfill their role in leveling the playing field for all who seek information and access to technologies, especially as our society is at a critical juncture, I was right, regarding the changing information landscape and skills needed to thrive in our digital world. And whereas libraries work to serve all communities, members, and support democracies, and affect social change through their commitment to provide equitable access to information for all library users, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, general identity, or socioeconomic status. Now, therefore, the Washoe County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim April 9th through the 15th, 2017 is National Library Week and encourages all residents to visit the library, explore what's new, and engage with your libraries. Dated this day, May 21st, sorry, I'm pushing it here, aren't I? March 21st, 2017, and signed by our chairman, Bob Lucy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Jeff Scott, Washington County Library Director. I wanted to start with thanking all the commissioners for their continued support of the library. In particular, the special district funds last year supported a number of initiatives. We were able to renovate the North Valleys Library. We were able to provide STEAM and STEM programming at the library, as well as provide Wi-Fi and other improvements at the Duncan Traynor Library. So we appreciate that. I wanted to plug the Nevada Big Give. So donate for the Friends of the Washoe County Library, a big supporter of the library, give us anywhere from $120,000 to $145,000 a year, and that's due to community support. And then their last book sale cleared almost $20,000. So that's the kind of support we're getting. We also wanted to plug their upcoming book sale, April 1st to the 9th, at the Sierra View Library at the Reno Town Mall. I also wanted to just briefly talk about the President's budget, about the IMLS funding being cut. So that does trickle down to Washoe County as well. So that money is usually funneled through the state library. That's going to the library through competitive grants. So the library stands to lose $120,000 in the next fiscal year as a result of the budget if it stands as it is. So I wanted to give that a plug. But thank you to the commissioners for your support.
Hi, my name's Emily Reed. I manage the law library at the 2nd Judicial District Court, and I wanted to say thank you for providing me with an opportunity to speak with you today. Libraries transform lives, and they also transform themselves to meet the needs of their community. So the Washoe County Law Library opened its doors over 100 years ago. And today, the majority of our library users are no longer attorneys, but members of our community who need our help to access the law as well as to represent themselves on legal matters. As users have evolved, so has our mission. Our mission today is to enhance access to justice by providing legal information, education, resources, tools and materials in print and digital formats to those engaged with the justice system, and to partnering with the courts, bar associations, legal clinics, civic organizations, and government entities to help ensure the legal needs of the community are addressed. We do this by maintaining an up-to-date legal collection based on needs and usage, hosting a weekly Lawyer in the Library program, working with our legal service providers, which is something that I wanted to let everyone here know. This weekend at the 75 Court Street location, the Nevada Legal Services and Young Lawyers section of the State Bar will be having an Ask a Lawyer for flood victims that are impacted by everything that's going on in Lemon Valley. That begins at 9:30 in the morning and goes into noon. They are accepting walk-ins. So we really want to encourage everybody to come down to the law library, to come to these different legal clinics that we host at the courthouse and gain access to all of the services that we provide. So a big thank you to our Board of County Commissioners, the Law Library Board of Trustees, the 2nd Judicial District Court and its staff, as well as everyone who makes it possible for us to meet our mission every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, all of our proclamations, I think, are very worthy today, but I think there's a little bit of anticipation about our next one. This is item 8C, proclaiming gratitude for Roy Gom Elementary School's fundraising efforts benefiting Washoe County Canine Partners. Commissioner Hartung will present this proclamation, and we have here today receiving the proclamation from Roy Gom, Principal John Sutherland, students Adele Evans and Elise Evans. We also have from our Canine Partners Representatives Kath Barkham, Patty Kelly, and Jordan Bashara. So if everyone could come down, please.
And for your records also, we have a handout about Pause for Cause, which I'll distribute to the board.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Hartung.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Members of the commission, what I'm going to do first is, all of you know, but maybe most don't realize how important our canines are to us, but it is obvious that they are extremely important to members of our community, regardless of their ages. And I'm going to allow these two young ladies to introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask them to just talk for 1 second, real briefly, why they thought it was important to raise money for the canine units. And so I don't know whether I will be able to get this, but we'll start right here, and you have to just tell them, just your first name would be fine, and what school you go to and what grade you're in, and then why you did this.
My name's Adele. I go to Roy Gom Elementary, and I'm in 2nd grade.
Okay. Now, why did you decide, Adele, that this was important to raise money for our canines?
I thought it was important because they were getting killed.
Okay, very good. All right, Elise, would you come over? Is that going to be okay?
Hi, my name is Elise, and I'm in 5th grade at Roy Gom Elementary, and I wanted to help the canines because they help find lost people and they help us.
Okay. We also have their parent partners here, which I'm inviting down, very important. So let me read the proclamation, and then I'd like to get some introductions from everyone, because I don't know everyone here yet, but I see we have a large contingent. Okay. Whereas the Washoe County Sheriff's Office Canine Unit relies on public donations to support the purchase of equipment, and whereas this equipment is essential to the safety of canines and allows them to serve the public to their fullest capacity, and whereas Washoe County Canine Partners is a nonprofit organization designed to help Washoe County's law enforcement dogs that serve and protect our communities. And whereas Roy Gom Elementary School students Adele and Elise Evans decided to hold a fundraiser at their school in January of this year to benefit Washoe County Canine Partners. And whereas the students, faculty, and families of Roy Gom Elementary School held a penny drive and raised $1,743.50 to benefit Canine Partners. And whereas a video featuring Adele and Elise presenting the fundraising money and Roy Gom students meeting the new canines generated even more funding for the program. Now, therefore, the Washoe County Board of Commissioners, including our honorary commissioners, by the way, proclaims their heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Adele Evans and Elise Evans and the students, faculty, and families of Roy Gom Elementary School for their extraordinary fundraising efforts, one penny at a time. Dated this 21st day of March 2017, signed by our chairman, Bob Lucy. Thank you so much, ladies. Mr. Chairman, if you would indulge me and members of the commission, I'm going to ask their parents, because as you know, the parents, without that partnership, a lot of things don't occur as easily as they have in this case. So I'm going to ask their mom and dad to just say just a couple of words. Introduce yourselves if you would.
My name's Emily Evans. We're just super proud of the girls and their efforts. This was all their idea, and they took it and owned it with the help of Mr. Sutherland, of course, who's the principal at Roy Gom.
And I'm Scott Evans. I'm their father. Thank you today for recognizing not only the efforts of our daughters, but the efforts of Roy Gom. Also, thank you to Mr. Sutherland for allowing the students to be involved in such an important matter within our community. And as my wife and I stand up here today, we're not only very proud of our daughters, but once again, very proud of the entire student population of Roy Gom for becoming so involved. And it was so neat and exciting to see all the student body coming in with their hard-earned change. When we collected the change, we probably had thousands and thousands of pounds of pennies and nickels and dimes, but it's amazing how quick it adds up. So we're very proud of the efforts of the entire school, and also of our Washoe County sheriffs for being out there every day, taking care of us and making sure that we're safe every single day as we travel down our roads and stay within our homes. So thank you for the recognition today. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Don't go away. I'm sorry, would you come up and we'll just go right in line, or we can, it doesn't make any difference whether the principal goes first or I last.
You go first.
Thank you. John Sutherland, principal at Roy Gom Elementary. I want to thank the girls. They did a fantastic job, but I want to thank the sheriff's office. The amount of time that they spent at our school is truly appreciated, and the students loved every minute of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just going to do a quick introduction so we don't all talk, but I'm Jordan. I'm the vice president for the Canine Partners, and then this is
Great.
And your role is in this? What you?
Oh, so the Canine Partners are who benefited from all this. We're fundraising for the canine units and getting them some new stuff, and GPS trackers is one of our major focuses right now for the dogs.
Great.
And we have, this is not taking away from these two young ladies who are amazing, but we have our canines here today. And so they're excited to be here, you can tell.
As always.
And, oh boy.
Gorgeous.
Are we going to do a photograph?
Yes, we are going to do a photo right now, so. But first of all, a big round of applause to these young ladies. All right, Commissioner Hartung.
Guys. Or you have one for each, well done. And then, please.
Trying to see what's in their bags. Yeah, they will. And then they'll do the motion again. We'll just probably put it on the last one, or the first one. Yeah. With where we are right now on the timer, okay. Oh. Turn that on.
So we'll do another picture with our Fair Housing Month group next.
Yep. All right, as soon as we get everybody situated back at their desk, we will call for a motion on all to approve all of the proclamations, 8A through 8D today. So, can I get somebody I'm looking for a motion. I have a motion from Commissioner Jung. And then I have a motion, did you push it?
Here.
I said motion.
We had Marcia Burkbigler already pressed a motion.
Oh, you have me?
Mm-hmm.
And I second it.
Oh, it just changed to Kitty for the mover.
We're gonna do all of them. Yeah. We're gonna do all of them.
We're gonna learn this sooner or later.
Yeah.
Because you have to go, you have to hit it and go over to the,
I have my motion in, honey.
So we got it.
okay, we got it.
So I have a motion. I should have a motion from Commissioner Jung and a second from Commissioner Hartung. Madam Clerk.
Yes.
All right, calling for the vote, please.
Here we go. Yes. Well, you'd only show.
Well, see, right now it says motion in progress, so it should process here shortly.
We can only show one at a time, so we're on the last proclamation that you heard, but we will record the same vote for all 4 proclamations.
Okay. Mine won't vote.
Yeah, we're hung up here. Paul? We got some technical difficulty here.
Now, we're in the program on 8C. Does that make a difference? Or 9C?
Okay. All right.
8C.
We're all there. We're all there now. All right. At this time, would please everybody verbalize their vote and place their vote at this time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
I'm still not voting.
Are you angry? Oh.
Mine is 2.
No, you've placed your vote. Is yours green?
I know, but it won't take it.
It won't.
It does.
She has to close it. The clerk will close it.
Oh.
So while the screen is up, you can change your vote. All right. At this time, since we're having some technical difficulties, we'll just record the vote as that was a unanimous vote by all commissioners, and move on at this time to the next item. I think we'll just try to finish the meeting normal. Is that
Yep.
okay?
Perfect.
With everybody?
Okay.
Okay.
Next item is your consent agenda. Those are items 9A and 9B on the agenda.
All right. At this time, we have, in consent, I'd like to remove 9B if possible.
Yes.
Pull 9B out and make it separate, and take a vote separately on 9B. So
Thank you.
can I get a motion on 9A? I have a motion from Commissioner Jung, second from Commissioner Hartung. All those, do we have public comment signed in? No public comment signed in. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously for 9A. At this time, we are on to agenda item 9B. Mr. Manager.
Mr. Chair, item 9B is acknowledgement of receipt of the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for fiscal year 2016-17 from the Government Finance Officers Association. And, Mr. Chair, we have members of our budget team that are here. Would ask that they all come down for this recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. It gives me great honor to present this award today. So I would, as we get our management and budget finance team to come down here, I would just want to make a quick side note. This is probably one of the most prestigious awards that a local government can receive. And our budget team is exemplary, has continued to, since I have taken office, has proven to be one of the foremost leading budget teams if in the state of Nevada, if not the country. And these recognitions that they are granted every year and have received every year since I've been here are proof in the pudding. So at this time, I'd like to present our budget team, finance budget team, the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association, presented to Washoe County for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2016. So with that, I have Mr. Mathers.
Thank you, Mark Mathers, Budget Manager. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I've always been the beneficiary of a very excellent, very smart budget team, and that continues to be the case. So I continue to be the beneficiary of that. So thank you very much.
Kari Estrada. Val Gilmore.
John Bozanich.
Lori Cook.
These individuals, I got to tell you, 5 individuals that run the budget for the entire county are impressive. Every dollar spent and brought in is managed and taken care of by these individuals, and it is a daunting task every day. So big round of applause.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Can we get all the commissioners down? I'd like to take a photo with the team. You guys are front and center right now. Front and center.
I deserve that one. Bob, I'm gonna need some help. Can you guys get it? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, looks good. Thank you.
I only joke because I've done that 1,000 times.
I joke.
Hey.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Great job. Thanks. Good job. Thank you, guys. Yeah, right? Good job. Good job. Good job, Sue. Good job. All right, there you go.
It is a game, isn't it? Right? It can be. Just a high stakes game.
Okay, so at this time, looking for a motion to accept the receipt of the budget award.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Bickbergler, second by Commissioner Jung. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Oh, do we have any public comment signed in?
No, we did
Thank
not.
you very much. All right. At this time, we are on to item 12.
Mr. Manager, item 12 is an update on emergency operations related to the February 23rd, 2017 declaration of state of emergency and possible approval of emergency actions approved by the county manager implemented pursuant to emergency powers related to the current state of emergency. And Sam Hicks will give us an overview of various emergency operations, and then we'll be available to answer questions. I may have some information as well.
Good morning, Mr. Hicks.
Good morning, Chairman Lucy. Good morning, Commissioners. Sam Hicks for the record. I'm the North Valley's Incident Commander. We presently have 95% of the barrier wall installed. We're hung up in the Arkansas area. Those guys are working in 3 to 4 feet of water out there. So it's going slow. They're getting about 300 feet linear a day on the ground, but 900 feet total because it's doubled, and then we're stacking one on top. So they're doing good work. We had asked that they slow that operation down based on safety needs for the crews working in the water and the heavy equipment. And they've done just that to make sure that it's a safe operation. I want to reaffirm that We still do have social services out there. We have animal services out there. The whole gamut of services that are available to the community for people that maybe can't get back into their house or whatever. We still have those services available. They've been out there every day since I started 15 days ago, and we've ramped it up, doing a good job. So those services are still available for residents out there. We are pumping somewhat. The culvert plug barrier, I don't know what to call it, is in the works. We had a couple of different options, and I committed to be practical, feasibly sound, and fiscally sound when I took this mission on, and that's exactly what we did. We had a couple options, and we're going with the best alternative that will meet the needs. It's not a temporary fix, can stay in that culvert until we take it out when we're done. They're being built in San Jose, California. Should be here, I believe, tomorrow, and we'll start that installation right away. We did start to pump Palace Lemon area as well as Idaho Lemon area. The head pressure would not, the sandbags would not withstand the head pressure on the downhill side, if you will. We did drain the water out of Palace. It's all the way out of Palace. There is some residual in the ditch, and we are minimally pumping to maintain the sandbags in place without flooding the neighborhood. We have the pumps in place. And I want to reiterate at this time, if one of those culverts were to let loose and totally fail, you're not going to see a whole neighborhood and more houses affected. It would go right back to where it was when we started 2 days ago or 3 days ago. The total rise has only been about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. But we don't foresee that happening. We have pumps in place. They're pumping at an idle to maintain the pressures. And the water has dropped significantly in the Palace area, clear down to just the ditch in the culvert where the water's leaking through. We're pumping that out, I believe, with either a 4 or 6 inch pump, minimal pumping. On Lemon and Idaho area, the 10-inch pump, I think it's a 10-inch pump that's there, is idled way back to maintain that head pressure. You can still see a significant drop in the water level out there. We also committed that when we started this pumping operation, we were not going to drain all the water out of the areas. We wanted that surface area to help evaporate. Our goal was to get away from the houses to where people could get back into their houses and resume their life. They will still have water on their property in some places. And that was at the advice of the engineers so that we can help speed up the evaporation process to get rid of the water totally. So hopefully by late tomorrow, we can really start pumping Idaho and get that down further away from the homes if we can get those plugs in place. The diver is a local area guy. He's out of Verdi. He's a salvage, CB salvage recovery diver, I believe. He does this all the time. Very confident that we can fix this problem and we can move on. The Pompeii area has been sandbagged. There's 20, 50, 70,000 sandbags over in that area, I think. I know of one house that's got, I think I heard him say this morning, 20,000 sandbags around it. There was literally a chain of crews passing sandbags 200, 300, 400 feet long. They had to start at the street and they're passing them down into the second to last home. That'll all be wrapped up today. You will see a decline in personnel on the incident. We're moving more from rescue or immediate response to mitigation maintenance phase of it, where we don't need all these people here, so we can scale that stuff back. Other than that, we continue to work out there. We have public interaction. There are a few people that don't believe that we're out there or want to, if you hear that we're not meeting with them, I can assure you that my people are meeting with them every day. We've been there for 15 days. They may not like the answer they're getting, but we are out there meeting with them every day. And even the people that are fairly vocal about not liking what's going on, they see us there every day. So if they tell you that we're not meeting with them, that is incorrect. I've made a commitment to the public that we're there. we'll meet with you. It may mean that we take some friends with us when we go to meet with some people, because there are people out there that are not very pleasant. But we will go in there with friends in the green clothes, just for our safety, you know, and we have no problem meeting with them. But we are meeting with them on a regular basis. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I might, just for the record, I passed out 2 maps to you of the incident areas, one for Swan Lake and one for Silver Lake, and they have been placed on record with the clerk.
Great, thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Hicks, yeah, first we have the Silver
that
Lake. That's the
Silver?
Silver Lake. That's the Silver Lake map that's up currently.
Okay, so I can give a brief update on that.
Before we get away too far away from the Swan Lake, what's the name of the diver? Do you know the name of the diver who's coming?
I
in from
don't,
Verdi?
I'm sorry. He lives in Verdi. I'm sorry. I
That's
don't know.
okay.
I can
No
get
worries.
it for you and
No, it's
I'll-
okay. Okay, if we can get that update on Silver Lake, please.
So we met with Reno yesterday, and they're looking at their options in the city. They're very cognizant of whatever they do in the city. They don't want to affect the county. To date, pretty much all the homes along Osage have been sandbagged. Those people out there have been really good, fairly self-sufficient. They took the initiative early on and started the efforts. We went in there and backed them up. So their homes are sandbagged. We're waiting on hopefully some technical data to see how much rise we're going to see in that lake, but we can always go in there and augment that. We also sandbagged, there's about a 600-foot section, I think, right along Red Rock Road that's really low. We also sandbagged that Monday, I believe. So.
Great. All right. Any questions from the commissioners?
Yes.
Commissioner Harton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What's the white line that we see in there? Is that actually high?
Yes.
So that's above the water?
In the middle of the blue?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably dry land.
Okay.
All of 3, so Swan Lake, Silver Lake, and White Lake, were all GPS flown by Raven last Friday. So what you see is an accurate representation, the best they can fly, the perimeter of the lake showing it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered what that, and I saw it on this map as well, on the
Swan Lake?
Swan Lake, yeah.
Yeah, that's a dry piece of land.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Manager Slaughter.
Mr. Chair, just wanted to add a little bit of information, and I'm going to be a little bit specific about a couple of things. To date, I believe it's 13 homes that have been, if you will, evacuated. Those are impacted in some way. That represents 48 individuals that have been placed by our social services department. 7 families have been placed into apartments. 5 families are moving into an apartment either this week or next week. We have 1 family that's in a hotel. We're looking for best options for that family in an apartment. We do have individuals who have decided to move out of the housing that we've provided for them and to move back into their homes. We have also, in some instances, assisted with power bills. Our social services staff is really going above and beyond in Lemon Valley, providing that to make sure that that they have safe housing through this event. We've also provided in the community public showers and public restrooms, and that's not only for those families who are immediately affected and may have water under their home, but it's also for families for those homes. I believe all of those Lemon Valley homes are on septic systems, and using their showers and facilities puts a strain on those systems. So the usage of those public showers has increased over time. It's decreasing a little bit now, but we will leave some showers out there available to the community for that purpose for the foreseeable future. Just wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about some of the housing that we've been providing to the families out in the area.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am curious, do we have a projection yet on assuming today's snow and it doesn't snow anymore on Beavine, how much higher do we think this will go?
The report that DRI, the Army Corps of Engineers, and the county engineers worked on, best data that they can tell from the SNOTEL visiting the actual site and then the SNODAS, they're predicting 3,800 acre feet, I believe, was the number they were predicting, which equates to about 2 feet of rise. Our system is designed for 4 feet, and that's specific to just the snow melt runoff. It's been very interesting, this incident, working with the engineers and the technical experts. As firemen, we're maybe not the most logical or the most intelligent people out there. We see it, we do it, we get it done. Those poor guys they're looking at all aspects, and the conversations, the sidebar conversations they're having, they're not sure, they're comfortable with those numbers, and they think those numbers may be high, based on what they're seeing, the data they're running. So we're sitting really well with the system we have in place. It's very refreshing to hear that, you know, they're comfortable with what's going on. We're in a good position. And I also want to mention that when we started this incident, we got with the National Weather Service, and we can get a specific weather forecast for Lemon Valley. We've been getting that forecast every day since March 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that. It is specific to the Lemon Valley area. They predicted up to maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain today in that area, which in the big picture is nothing. When you look at surface volume and area, it's insignificant rise in the water. The wind will make it seem like the water has come way up, because it is moving the water into areas that may have been affected before, and they saw it recede. So the wind is actually moving that water, but we're not seeing significant rise.
Great.
Thank you. One last thing. I just want to tell you, Sam, how appreciative we all are of everything you're doing. We know that there's some very unhappy people out there, and appreciate that you guys are standing up and going out and taking care of this. And thank you for all the good work you're doing.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Sam, one last question I have for you too is, what's an estimated time of completion on that final piece of barrier on Arkansas?
We're looking at Thursday if everything goes well. It's just slow, you know.
Right.
So hopefully by Thursday that section will be completed. We can get back down to one barrier on the ground and get moving with that, and then we'll start. I think once we get to the one section barrier, we may look at firing up the pumps to start pulling that water back, even though we know that some's going to come around.
Right.
I think we'll see a significant change in the neighborhoods.
Great. Commissioner Harding.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just very simple. I just wanted to thank all of our first responders, fire, police, not to leave out social services, animal services, all the volunteers that have been out there, the folks that came in from Southern Nevada, all of their assistance. I know it seems to some of the neighbors, I agree with Commissioner Burke-Begler, Commissioner Lucy, it seems as if we're not doing enough, and we're not doing it fast enough. These kind of events are very difficult. I would remind everyone that sadly we're seeing, look at what's happened in Peru recently, where they've had a lot of loss of life, and we've been very blessed that we've had no loss of life. And this is a tragic event. There's no question of that. We're doing everything that we possibly can. It's gonna, I think this will load us for future conversations about what we want to do in our community as a region, and how we can protect ourselves in certain places. And there are going to be some places that it doesn't matter how hard we try, we cannot stop Mother Nature from taking her land back at certain times in the future. This is tough, but thank you so much for all of the hard work. I know, what would you estimate your hours of sleep a night are now, Sam? Are you getting 4?
They're a lot less than they are on a normal day.
I understand. thank you for your leadership. It's, you've been just tremendous, and I know my hat comes off, and I'm sure I speak for the rest of the commissioners, their debt of gratitude as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Herman.
Just want to say the same as we've all said. We're in debt to you for all your time and effort, and you're just my heroes.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
that. At the height of this, we had 522 people on the ground, actually working out there with heavy equipment, loaders that are very big, little skid steers, conservation crew members. We put in almost 4 miles of barrier. Some of that stuff went up really fast. We've had 17,000 tons of sand brought in, and we've moved around. The sandbags we have to be well over 1 million sandbags out there. And it wasn't me, it was the county, the state, our federal partners, our cooperators, those guys on the ground that are waiting in the water today with the wind and the rain. Those guys out there really deserve the accolades because they stepped to the plate. I said last night that engineers look at us like we're crazy. We had 2 significant accomplishments on this incident to date. Minimal safety issues, a scraped knee, smashed thumb, and that was it. That's remarkable for the number of people we have out there, the duration we've been here and what we've been dealing with. The second one was the engineers actually laugh at us now, and they talk to us, so that is huge. We've made some great strides with our partners. It's been a great incident, and it's because of you guys and your support, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. And I just, one last note, and we'll move on here, but I don't want to discredit the magnitude of this process. Manager Slaughter continues to point out to me, and I know all the commissioners that have toured this, it is a massive, massive undertaking. This is not something that it just happens overnight. So the ability for you to mobilize in a few short weeks, get barriers, get them in place, and have placed as much as you have is tremendous. And I don't think anybody will ever really truly understand the magnitude of the size of this project and the expeditious nature in which it was constructed because of your leadership and all the individuals that helped in that process. So thank you once again from us at the Board of Commission, and but like I said, we really appreciate your time and leadership. So at that time, I'm going to open it up to public comment. I have Miss Kathy Brandhorst signed in for public comment.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst, and I'm also the United States President. Excuse me. I watched this on television, and it was awful, just really bad, very bad news. I watched this all the way through until everybody started leaving the cameras. Everybody just actually took place into this. The cameras were blown all to pieces. I just wanted to let you know, while I was watching this, houses were destroyed very badly. The houses weren't even there anymore, where it just blew the house right off the property. I just wanted to tell you too, I watched this for about an hour and on television. I don't know how many other people had just taken their time to watch this. But this is in Spanish Springs, and the bombs were round. They look like cannonballs, or what do you call them? Also bowling balls, I was thinking too. The bombs had really destroyed the ocean. Like he said, there's not very much left of the water. Excuse me. And there's not very many houses left there either. The people were screaming because the ocean was so strong, it just started taking some of the people out of the town area. and it was just awful to see on television. And I just wanted to tell you too that the bombs that they were placing on Spanish Springs, they have no way of knowing if it was the wind. The wind was also brought up with laser beams, very strong, over 100 miles per hour. The winds were blowing so strongly that there was just nothing left of the city at all. The bombs look like, you know, the large bowling balls too, instead of small ones. And I just wanted to let you know, these bombs are not boxes, and they are now putting them into round bowling balls, I guess you would call them. And these are very strong, where they can just destroy everybody, including a great big town, and there wouldn't be nothing left of the streets or anything else.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right. At this time, looking for a motion to accept the emergency update.
Move to approve. Move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Burkbigler, second by Commissioner Hartung. I know. Get ready. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chair, just to wrap up one last
Yes.
item. This item will appear on our agenda repeatedly now. It also includes ratification of any emergency measures that I that I approve during this event. We do have one recent item that we'll bring to the next meeting. We'll be bringing to you in the near future discussion about use of emergency funds within the county's budget. So those, as I said, this will stay on our agenda, keep you updated, but also to affirm various emergency actions that I take during this event.
Great. Thank you. All right, Mr. Manager, we are on to agenda item 13.
Item 13 is public comment.
Madam Clerk, it looks like we have a couple individuals sign in. Miss Lori Olson.
Fortunately, I started out with good afternoon, so thank you. It's still good morning. Once again, my name is Lori Olson, and I'm the general manager for the Collin Ranch Homeowners Association. I've been on site for 5 years. I was fortunate enough not to have experienced the last two 100-year floods, which, if anyone's paying attention, they're happening about every 10 years now. The North Valleys have my deepest sympathy, but they're not your only problem. In the past, we've been able to handle any flooding. We've redesigned our common areas so they can handle the impact of rushing water and redirected it to its intended flowways. Over the years, Collin Ranch has spent thousands of dollars in time and materials to not only repair our common areas after the last two floods, but also to prepare for the inevitable flooding events. The key word is preparation for the inevitable. What we experienced in early December, January, and again in February was unprecedented. The damages resulted from several failures associated with the Steamboat Canal. I see that Chief Moore is here, and I want to thank him. I understand that he had staff out there one night during one of the very heavy storm events, doing sandbags and helping out some of our homeowners. We do appreciate that. The Steamboat Canal Board and attorney have been continually absolving themselves of all responsibility associated with stormwater conveyance within the canal and pointing directly to Washoe County. Since Washoe County has control of the canal when it is not delivering irrigation water, we have been advised that Washoe County is responsible for making the repairs. The canal breached, leached, and overflowed, impacting several private yards, homes, and common area. The canal embankments are currently unstable and will not be able to withstand another stormwater event without once again impacting private property. When Collin Ranch and the impacted homeowners reported their losses to the numbers we were directed to call, we were all surprised to find out there was no coverage for landscaping, only structures. Collin Ranch requires homeowners to install extensive and therefore expensive landscaping on custom home lots. Of course, these were the lots that were damaged. Private homes will be forced to pay for the Washoe County damages. We were prepared, Washoe County was not. Now we will suffer as a result. In an effort to offer assistance to our homeowners, Collin Ranch purchased a truckload of sand and 1,000 sandbags so that homeowners along the canal could attempt to protect their properties. I'd be happy to present those invoices to Washoe County for reimbursement. The canal is located on Washoe County property throughout Collin Ranch, not private or common area. Historically, the canal has not been properly maintained, is severely damaged, and it cannot safely serve its purpose. On behalf of the Collin Ranch Board of Directors, management, and homeowners, we respectfully request that during the course of 2017, Washoe County makes plans and completes substantial and long-term repairs to the canal in an earnest effort to protect private property. We recently met with Dwayne Smith, who promised to look into the matter further. Now that we have seen the negative impact and profound damages, please look into fixing the problem, not just talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Olson. Ms. Elise Weatherly.
Hi, Elise Weatherly, and I know, and I wouldn't blame you guys if you see me coming, you cringe, because it seems like sometimes I have friends that actually tell me the truth, and sometimes they tell me you have too negative an aspect on things, and I will admit that sometimes I do. Sometimes I remind myself of the person in Mr. Mom, the lady that just came and said, "You're doing it wrong," and I realized that, by the way, with the Lemon Valley thing, somebody had entrusted me to go pray for that valley. She said, "We need prayer, we need a miracle." So I called up my believing friends. Some of them live in Lemon Valley. I actually went out to Lemon Valley. I prayed over that valley. And if I were to die, let's say tomorrow, and I were to stand in front of God, my judge, my almighty judge, and he were to give an account of what I'd done, I don't think one of the things he would have said was, "You've been very politically correct." He would have said, "Did you tell people about my glory and about my power? Did you tell them that nature is not just didn't kind of come about on its own being, but I'm in control of it?" I would have to say, I hope so. I hope I did this, Lord, because I need to tell people about how you are. One of the things that I forget to do, well, I double-checked, I says, is it truly in the decorum of this board to have a voice, but not necessarily speak, but sing? Because I know Sam Dene has done that, and sometimes I just want to sing because sometimes people don't hear me when I speak, but when I sing, maybe they pay attention. So I'm going to speak it and I'm going to sing it. This is an invitation that was given to me many years ago. The kind of funny thing about it is it has to do with water, and it says, "All who are thirsty, all who are thirsty, all who are weak, come to the fountains, dip your heart in the spring of life. Let the pain and the sorrow be washed away in the waves of his mercy, as deep cries out to deep." My prayer has been, because of the condition of this world, come, Lord Jesus, come. And I will end it by saying shalom, which means we pray for the peace of Jerusalem because it's our cornerstone. In Yeshua HaMashiach's name, I'll try not to bother you anymore. And thank you for your work.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. Thank you, Ms. Weatherly. I have Kathy Brandhorst sign in. Ms. Brandhorst.
My name is Kathy Brandhorst. I'm also the United States President. I just wanted to tell you, fathers who do not pay their child support, oh my God, I better kill my wife. I better kill all my children because I can't afford to pay the child support. Well, it's not just killing, it's murder. I've seen this done at the Donner Motel, hanging them by the necks while they're screaming. Their own father has to kill them. So just a gruesome murder. They have to be stabbed to death, bullet holes to death. Even steamroller comes out and steamrollers them right down. Smashed. Blood and flesh all over the Donner Motel. I don't know, every day, every night, there is no safe. We're not safe at the Donner Motel. You people allow us to go there to pay our rent. But what about the people who can't afford to pay rent? They would rather go to each and everybody's room. What do? Steal our purses, steal our wallets. Oh, now they got some money in their pockets. They're so poor, they can't even afford to pay their child support. The children have jobs, leave them alone. They support themselves, leave them alone. They live in a small room, leave them alone. You know, they have a right to live too. They have a right to live with their mother. Their mother is the only thing that they have left in their lives. But not even the mother is there to support them either, because she's in the cemetery buried. You don't know how awful it is to have a child come up to you and cry and say, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, feed me, give me something to drink. Nobody has that anymore because we are poor. They're stealing our money so badly at the Donner, we don't have the money to move out. But you can help us get out of there.
Thank you, Ms. Brandhorst. All right, seeing no further public comment, we'll go to our last item, item 14. Mr. Manager, do you have anything signed in? I don't show any speakers signed in. Do you sign in on your tablet?
Can't.
You can't sign
I
in? on your
can't
speaker?
sign in. Yeah,
What? All right, never mind. I thought you could still sign in.
yeah, it's,
All
mine's
right.
saying system down.
All right, Commissioner Burkbeeler.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I apologize.
That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask for a staff report on the irrigation ditches. I understand there are 3 of them. And I know we have a lot of streams too. I'm not really worried about the streams, but those 3 main irrigation ditches, I'd like to know who owns them, who's responsible for making the maintenance on them, what the costs are to the county so far, and what we've had to do for the storm drainage and all of that kind of stuff. And if there is a cost that we pay them for allowing storm waters to run through as I understand it, are their property, not our property. So if we could get that report, I don't think that's going to be a 2-hour requirement, but if it is, we can bring it back. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hartung.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. That was articulated very well, Commissioner Burkbiegler. My question exactly, who owns the agricultural canals and the general conveyance channels? Does Washoe County really have a responsibility there? And it'd be interesting to find that out. I'm not aware of any such ownership, so I'd like to hear the answer to that question, and I think you've asked it perfectly well. Thank you.
Commissioner John, do you have anything? Commissioner Herman? Nothing? One thing that I'd like to bring back is just that, as Commissioner Jung and Hartung pointed out earlier, is that dashboard, because I know that was an item that I had asked for back in February in regards to the ditches and our maintenance and what our schedules look like. So had we known known that that question was asked, we would have. I think that's a problem, is that a lot of us are wanting the same things, don't know that they've been requested or where we are with those things. So if we could get that dashboard sooner rather than later, as in like ASAP, that would be perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Seeing nothing further, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.